Today we're going to take a look at Pages of History, Volume 1, Secrets of the Ancients, and Volume 2, Blazing New Trails. And basically this is history with an apologetic tie, and it's like a living history book in the sense that it's very much like a story going back in time with characters. And obviously it's from a Christian worldview. And I love that R.C. Sproul even signed off on it. On the back he wrote, "History is not something Jesus merely entered. It is not something he merely conquered. It is instead all of it from east to west, from beginning to end, his story. Pages of History does magnificently what the best books usually do but poorly. Tells us about Jesus by showing us his world." All right, so here in a minute, I'm going to go through the table of contents and do like a quick flip through. And I have not read them yet. I did kind of do a quick look at the first chapter, but otherwise this is going to be new for me. Hopefully we will love it, and if not, that's okay. I think it's going to be worth a try. It looks pretty good. And I think the main reason I went a simpler direction this year, and I say simpler because if you saw my history curriculum choice video from last school year for second grade for my son, I did a lot of work planning month by month history units that were chapter and picture book based. And this year my daughter is going into kindergarten, and I really just wanted to keep it super simple and just have something I can read like once or twice a week. And I'm just going to go and let you know that that's very doable, because when I added up how many chapters and how many chapters in each of these books, there's a total of 36 chapters, and the average school year is 36 weeks. So if I read one chapter a week, I would get through both volumes, and they're pretty thick. So I was like, well, we have a lot of other things we want to read, so I could just do one volume a year. But honestly, I think we could easily get through both volumes this year and then try something new next year. So let's take a look. Okay, Pages of History, Volume 1, Secrets of the Ancients. Let's look at the table of contents. The best education anywhere you are. And classical Christian curriculum for school and homeschool. Unapologetic, Christ-centered, focused, fun, engaging style that kids love. Well, that just right there. It is by Veritas Press. Scholars Academy, and they're a pretty well-known company. Right there, that makes you feel like, hey, this has got to be pretty good. All right, so we have, if you want to pause it, you can read it for yourself. So in summary, it starts with creation to Babel, and you go all the way to Martin Luther, or from Martin Luther to John Knox is the last section. And then, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, when I first looked at these, I think there were altogether 36 chapters, and this one has 20. So I think the other one had 16. And I saw something interesting in the back before I do the flip through. It has kind of this little guide in the back. It has card number, card title, and chapter. So I actually just literally noticed this. Veritas Press History Flashcard Index. I didn't know that there must be some kind of flashcards that you can buy with this, because I found this on a scholar shop, so I didn't see it off their website and what all could come with it. So what does it say? It says, expand your learning opportunity. Get your own set of history flashcards that correspond to Volume 1 of Pages of History by visiting www.veritaspress.com. Oh my goodness, cool. This video made me discover something new. I'm going to have to go check out these flashcards. Cool. Okay, now let's do the flip through. Okay, I will say chapter 1 is set in a school setting, and there's kind of things like a spitball flag, some kid that's, I don't know, maybe he's the trouble kid. So there's some context where you're okay, I don't know if we can relate as a homeschooler, and the kid I guess doesn't believe in God. So at first I'm oh, depending on the kid, are they ready to, get into the apology aspect of their faith? But here's a little excerpt. Ugh, Jim, I don't see any written evidence of that. Nowhere on any website or textbook does it mention God. You're my best friend, but sometimes you're really dumb. That part for some of us, especially with the younger kids, we're oh, do I want my kid to hear that? Are they ready for non-examples? James wasn't offended. His parents had warned him that being a believer was going to be hard. Dumb was not the worst thing he'd been called. And he knew deep down that one day God would change Lance's heart. So there we go. Like, it already is, you know, keeping things clear. Even though the main character, our protagonist, encounters a boy who doesn't know God or have faith, like, I'm guessing, and from what I perceived in the little tiny bit I read so far, you know, he obviously stands for his faith and actually is able to exercise his, you know, apologetic skills as he learns with you, you know, that the truth and God's word is true, and you know why. And so I think that's pretty cool. You know, it comes full circle, and I think from the beginning, like, it gives you that confidence as a young reader that, you know, you're on the right side of, you know, things with the main character, and having, you know, faith and trust in the truth and in God's word. Obviously skip the first chapter or edit it if you don't feel like your kid needs to hear all that and wants to get straight to the history. But I'm just going to kind of like flip through so you can see pictures that they do add in. It's not like Mystery of History. I have a video for that where it's definitely more like straightforward, like a history textbook that is written in kind of a interesting fashion. But I feel like we kind of wanted something, I don't know, in between before starting Mystery of History. But they do have more like actual photos if you're looking for something like that shows like artifacts and things from museums. All right, so we're just kind of flipping through quickly. It's a lot of pages, so I might kind of do one of these numbers, and if I see something cool, a picture of, who's that guy? Oh, Kublai Khan, yeah, we know about him. All right, get some rough ideas. So I have one hand here. What's that? The feudal system. Okay, so I mean, it's definitely from the table of contents, you see it's like going through. If you want to go back to that part of the video, you can see exactly what it's covering. So I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what it looks like. And as you can see, like, it does go into like history also, not just Bible, but I like the way it's interwoven, because obviously for us, you know, that's important that we see it together and we don't have to isolate the two. Okay, let's look at the other one. So we're going to look at the table of contents. All right, so here you go. I'm not going to read it. If you want to go ahead and pause it. I'm going to just summarize, though. It starts in 1557, you know, and then Prince Henry to the Spanish explorers, and then it goes all the way to 9/11 and to the end of all wars. Okay, so you can get an idea of what it covers. And again, this one I think only has 16 chapters. All right, so, you know, we have our characters. Again, we're weaving in history and Bible history into one story. One thing I like about this one and Mystery of History is, well, one, it comes from Christian worldview. You know, you're not going to find just a big emphasis on Greek, you know, mythology, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I felt like Story of the World, I don't know. I didn't give it a good chance, so I could be wrong, but it just had way too much of that kind of stuff in it and not enough of a Christian worldview in it and just straight stories from history. I don't know. But again, I haven't read the whole thing. It was just my impression from flipping through it. I'm sure it's a good curriculum, though, also. But I guess, you know, everybody's might be looking for something a little different. All right, so have some real photographs in it. All right, so there's a little rough idea for you. Okay, and again, there are cards that they can use to help them with ordering the events. That is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to check those out. Maybe I will actually come back and add to this video or do another video. And here's the summary on the back of the modern history. And here's the summary on the back of the ancient history volume. All right, so that's Pages in a History Volume 1 and 2. If you're like interested in this history series after watching this video, or if you've already used it, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. And I'll look forward to giving you an update. Hopefully, Lord willing, next year I will actually do better about giving updates and on things like this and how we liked it or not. All right, take care and have a great summer.